Hey, what is going on, guys? Danny here. Welcome back to the channel, and I hope you're all doing well. I know it's been quite a while since my last upload. There's a few reasons for that. I'm going to make a follow-up video in the future explaining, where I've been and why I haven't been uploading much. But Gears of War E-Day, if you haven't been aware, there's a early access beta going on. If you pre-order the game or you have Xbox Game Pass, you can get access to this. So I've been a big fan of the Gears series all the way back from Gears 1, been playing it on the Xbox 360, and I've been looking forward to this one because it's, obviously a new installment into the series, and I've been missing Gears. I've been missing the action. The multiplayer scene is where it's always been at for me, but I mean, hey, the campaign and the story has also been great. Gears 1 through 3, absolutely loved them. Wasn't really a big fan of what the Coalition did with Gears 4 and 5 in terms of the campaign, but I still always have fun with the multiplayer, and a lot of my old high school buddies have been actually messaging me saying that, hey, look, there's a new Gears out. Let's get together and play. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing that. And I figured, hey, why not just do a bit of a performance test, a performance overview benchmark video for you guys using some popular hardware. So today we're going to be taking a look at Gears of War E-Day. Mostly going to be doing multiplayer, and then I'll show you guys the built-in benchmark performance as well with the 9070 XT, which has been overclocked, and my 9800 X3D, which has also been tuned using PBO and also been using some tweaked RAM. So full specs will be in the video description if you guys are curious about that. But let's dive into this, and what I wanted to show you guys first were the settings. I'm not going to be going through a plethora of settings for you guys. What I usually do for these performance overviews is I try to find like a good middle ground sweet spot in terms of visual settings and performance, and that's what I usually roll with and recommend. I'm not one of those people who tells you to, max out every setting that the game gives you access to. That's just absolutely stupid. It's usually not worth it, because once you go further into the settings, you reach a point of diminishing returns in terms of visual feedback or what you perceive in terms of quality, right? But yeah, this game is pretty demanding, and what we'll take a look at first is 1080p performance. And you do actually have to utilize FSR with this game. I mean, FSR 4 isn't bad. There are some drawbacks to it, which, I'll point out later on. But I still recommend using it just because, the difference between native and using FSR 4 in something like quality mode is almost, you won't be able to tell the difference. So I usually tell people to roll with it, and gameplay, it's going to give you a nice boost, and it's still going to look really nice. So for settings, we're mostly running with high settings. Post-processing motion blur, always turn those off or have them on low if you can't turn them all off. Depth of field is one of the other ones too. And then we also have global illumination. That one I've just left on ultra. Reflection and ray tracing, that's on high. Yeah, most settings are on high. Animation quality is on ultra. Not a big impact there in terms of hardware performance capabilities that are needed. Variable rate shading too, that's something you can also turn on as well to help boost performance, because what it does is that it just lowers shading work in like the corners or background or objects that are behind certain other objects, so it just saves performance. It's something you won't even notice. So yeah, that's another nice performance boosting option that you can turn on. So these are the settings I'm going to roll with. Like I said, we're doing 1080p first, so what we'll do is we'll look at the built-in benchmark, and I'll try my best to have the numbers reset for you guys here. In multiplayer, it's going to be a little bit tough. So I've got the 0.1% lows and the average frame rate turned on for you guys. This is the built-in benchmark. Not sure how reflective it is of actual real-world gameplay. I think what they're showing here is horde mode, if anything, because there's a lot of enemies that are roaming around here that you don't see in the multiplayer, because it's multiplayer is just COG versus just the regular grenadiers or locusts. But at 1080p, we're getting some decent performance, 140-ish FPS, 110 in the 1% lows, and about 70, 80 FPS in the 0.1% lows. So overall, it's pretty smooth gameplay for the 9070 XT. Again, we are using upscaling, so in quality mode. So I take it, if we were to turn that off, maybe you might see like a, I don't know, like a 20 FPS decrease. And I think this is where the built-in benchmark usually ends over here. Yeah, so it cut off, and it did. Whenever it does the little cut off, you guys saw the spike. That's where the 0.1% and 1% lows completely dipped. But just ignore that because that was the menu popping up. It usually always does that. But overall, you guys saw performance was pretty decent. So next what we'll do is we'll actually jump into some multiplayer gameplay and see what performance is like. I won't really be talking too much or narrating too much about the performance because obviously I'm going to be focused on playing. And I have some comments about some of the mechanics and that they've done because, like I said, I've been a big Gears fan, big multiplayer fan. And yeah, there's some interesting things that they've done with this iteration of Gears. A lot of controversy, a lot of debates going on about it. So we'll get into all of that as well. Alright guys, we're now in the multiplayer mode, the versus mode. I think there's only like 2 maps in circulation that they have for this early access beta. Not sure if the open beta that's going to be happening later in the month will have more maps. But yeah, we'll get right into it. I think this is like it's a conquest mode, so I think what happens is like there's certain zones and you got to capture them or something like that. But yeah, we'll go ahead and turn on the numbers here. And we'll get into some multiplayer. It might be a little bit tough just because I have like an overlay on the top of my head over here. And you might be noticing the format for the webcam is a little bit different just because it makes it easier to snip the stuff when doing it for like a shorts format or like a reel or something like that. But yeah, this is interesting. They've done a lot of changes in this game. If you guys have been, you know, avidly playing Gears, you know that there's really 4 ways people play this game. You know, you can be like a power junkie. You can play with snipers. You can just sit back and gun with your Lancer. Or the other way that personally that I like to play is just roll with the Nasher. I'm one of those guys who likes to just get in everyone's face like that and just, you know, roll with the Nasher. Whoops, that guy just sniped me. And that's what I find most fun about this game, Nasher battles. That's what we used to do back in the day. We used to just go on blood drive and we used to just roll with Nashers. Alright, looks like we captured that point. Performance, as you guys can see, is overall pretty good. Right now we're still at 1080p. Getting around 100 50 FPS. I have the FPS at unlimited in the settings, but it looks like there's a hard cap, like a engine. I'm not sure if it's a engine limit, but it looks like it's still capped at 150. I'm not sure why that exactly is. I hope they get rid of it in the actual release. Maybe just for pre-release in the beta, like it says over there, pre-release software, they have it capped. But yeah, looks like overall performance, can't complain too much about it. It's still smooth. But we'll see how it is at multiplayer. Stole that guy's kill. What? Oh, come on. I thought I shot first. Dang, I thought he almost had his own. But yeah, this is gonna take some time to get used to because, as you guys remember, like wall bouncing used to be a big thing in Gears multiplayer. And with this new movement, they've taken out the old roadie run, and now it's just like a regular run. You can even jump in this game, which is like a first for Gears. Where was he shooting me from? Oh, over there. But wall bouncing in this game is a lot more tougher because like you don't really snap onto like walls or cover as easily as you could in the previous games where, you know, you would see your character just sliding into cover. So, but I mean, you can literally slide now like this. And I am sucking so hard right now. And I actually realized I haven't really been resetting the numbers for you guys as I've been dying because, yeah, when going into menus and stuff, that does also cause some dips with the frame times. And it's not really reflective of actual gameplay. There we go. And active too, active reloading. I feel like it's not as consistent. You see the reload bar, it used to be just like smooth and consistent, but now it's not really like that. Oh, I think I got one of them though. Yep. Alright guys, so what we're going to do next is we're now at 1440p. Settings are still just going to be the same. And what we're going to do first is just hop into the benchmark. And then we'll take a look at, I guess it's a bit of a preview of what the performance can be like. And then we'll hop into multiplayer again. So, I mean, to start us off, overall performance still looks good. I think before we were getting around 140-ish, 150 FPS. Again, there was a cap that we were running into. But here it looks like we're getting around 120 FPS with our 1% loads around in the high 90s. And then 0.1% lows are about the same, really. I think about a 10 FPS loss there. But overall, performance is still really good. We're still using FSR upscaling. And as you guys can see with the grass and the foliage over there, there is quite a bit of shimmering. That's one of the big drawbacks I have with FSR 4. I mean, you still also see that on DLSS, but with 4.5, that got reduced pretty dramatically. As long as, you know, you are using like a quality or balanced preset. Even on the performance at like 4K, it still was better. But that's one of the drawbacks with FSR 4, I find. Yeah, AMD really needs to work on getting, I think, what are we at now for AMD? We're at FSR 4.1 or even 4.5. So, and I think there's a FSR 5 in the works as well, are going to be coming out soon. So yeah, I was hoping that the latest iteration would have been in this game. Maybe by the time it comes to release, I think this game is releasing in October. So we'll see the newer iteration of FSR 4 or FSR by then as well. All right, so that was the benchmark. 110 FPS, 92 on the 1% lows, and 0.1, 80 FPS on the 0.1% lows. So overall, pretty decent performance. I can't really complain here too much. It was still relatively smooth, but as we jump into multiplayer, we'll take a look at how things play out there. All right, guys, so we're now hopping into multiplayer. We're still doing Conquest mode. Unfortunately, it's not the same map. It's a different map called Market. So not directly, you know, like a direct comparison to the 1080p multiplayer performance we're looking at. But hey, you know, we're just looking to just get a general overview of performance in this pre-release beta. So we'll see how that goes. Ever since playing, I have yet to play on the COG side. I've always been on the Locust team. I don't know why. Alright, got the numbers here reset for you guys. And performance, if anything, seems a little bit higher. Probably because in Horde mode, you have so many NPCs and monsters and things just, you know, blowing up everywhere around the place. The movement in this game is going to take some time to get used to. Like I said, you can't wall bounce as easily in this game, which sucks. Oh. I got incinerated there. But overall, performance at 1440p, still really solid. Wow. These guys are just camping in there. I think I was the only one there, too. Oh, I gotta remember to reset the numbers for you guys. Oh, looks like my team caught it. Now, it's been interesting because a lot of people have been saying, yeah, it's a really demanding game. A lot of people have been complaining about performance issues, stuttering. I mean, granted, I've got like one of the best CPUs here that you can buy for gaming on the market. And then the 9070 XT, you know, it's one of the highest end gaming GPUs you can get right now as well. On the AMD side, that is. Obviously on NVIDIA, you've got 5070 Ti. I actually have one in my main system, so might hop on that later. The CPU is a 14900K. We'll see how performance is over there if I have the time. But then, you know, you've got the 5080, the 4090, the 5090, still higher, some higher end options that you can run with. But overall, I mean, I can't complain about this performance. It's been really smooth. Ooh, got a nice one there. Damn it, I noob rolled into him. Trust me guys, I'm better than this. I'm just focusing on the numbers up top. I promise. VRAM usage isn't too bad as well, like at 1440p with these high settings. I mean, there's ray tracing enabled, global illumination is on ultra. We're only using like 8 gigabytes of VRAM. System memory, it's about 13. So yeah, you definitely want at least 32 gigs of VRAM in this, or system memory. What? We were at the same distance. If you remember back in the day, that was a big thing, big issue with Gears. The hit consistency was just awful. There's a lot of, it wasn't actually peer-to-peer, a lot of times it was host. Did this guy spawn beside me? How does that work? This guy literally spawned beside me. And then he leveraged his, invincibility, his iframes. So what we'll do next is we'll take a look at 4K performance. I've been pretty happy with 1080p and 1440p, really solid. I'm just hoping that, you know, if there is room to optimize things further, by all means, that's welcome. I just have time to only try on this kind of hardware, so maybe I might, you know, if there's enough demand for it, see if I can make up a little test bench with like some weaker hardware, but overall this will do for now. Alright guys, so now we're at 4K. Again, settings are still the exact same as before. Didn't really see the need to turn them down further, but yeah, we know going from the jump from 1080p to 1440p isn't as high as the jump is from actually 1440p to 4K. So obviously the biggest hit in performance we're going to see is with 4K, and it's evident by the numbers. As you guys can see, we're getting now about 70 to 80 FPS on average, 64 on the 1% lows, and 52 on the 1.1% lows. So yeah, pretty big hit in performance. With the 9070 XT, if you're playing single player and you have like a 4K TV that it's hooked up to a 4K monitor, sure, it's fine. Single player, it's whatever. You know, you're playing at your own pace, it's not competitive. Multiplayer wise, right? I mean, if you still want to game at 4K, I would highly recommend just lowering the settings to like medium on the 9070 XT, or even you might want to try high or lower down the FSR upscaling preset first if you do want to keep the same settings. But with multiplayer, yeah, you definitely are going to have to compromise on the settings there, or just drop it down to 1440p. As you guys saw with those higher settings at 1440p, performance was phenomenal. So now what we'll do is we'll jump into multiplayer, see how it is. Multiplayer, as you guys saw from 1080p and 1440p performance, it's generally higher than what the built-in benchmark shows us. Alright guys, so now we're playing at 4K, multiplayer, Conquest, and we're in Market, so at least the numbers here would be a bit of a better direct comparison to 1440p because we were playing on the same map. And again, I am on the Locust side. I feel like you have to be like a high level to play on to play on COG, but I don't know, that's just randomized as it is for me. Alright, I've gone ahead and reset the numbers here for you guys, and we'll go ahead and jump into it. So, starting us off, we're getting around a 80-ish FPS, 75 on the 1%, and 70-ish on the 0.1% lows. I'm gonna try to flank these guys, see if I can get around them. There we go. We're down 2. That worked. Oh, there we go. We almost got it. Where are you going? I'm not sure if it was the same in the last game, but to get over cover, you could just double press spacebar or something like that, and it was more smoother. Just finding it a bit awkward to slide into cover, and it's like a different, wow. It's a different button. Go. Oh, there we go. Oh, is he down? Oh, get out of here. Oh, get out of here. How do you get him from there? Oh, he had a power weapon, okay. But overall performance, guys, I cannot complain about 4K performance as well. It's actually pretty smooth. I mean, again, this isn't a first-person Twitch shooter, right? There is some pretty fast movement. But overall, for 4K performance, from the 9070 XT, I gotta say I'm impressed. Granted, yeah, upscaling is coming into play, but I mean, these days, you know, who isn't using upscaling? FSR4, DLSS, these things have come a very, very long way since their inception. Performance, I mean, image stability is a lot better with these now, so. Where are you going? Oh. Yeah, I cannot wall bounce for shit in this game. Get out. Alright, we got the match point. Are we gonna 4-0 these guys? Oh, sorry. Oh, I whiffed that. But as I was saying, yeah, like this isn't, you know, Counter-Strike or Call of Duty where you need like 400 plus FPS in a first-person shooter. I mean, third-person shooters having less FPS I find is a lot more forgivable. Granted, yeah, I would probably try to aim for like 100-ish, 120 FPS in this game. Oh, somebody noob rolled into me. I thought I was gonna die because I whiffed that. Where are you guys looking? Oh, okay. I messed up there. But let me know what you guys think. I think I'm gonna have some fun with this game now that I've gotten some more time to play around with it. I'm just hoping, you know, it doesn't die out, because that's usually what happens with Gears on PC. Usually within like a month or so, it just starts to die out. Damn it. But if you got a 9070 XT and you have a 9800X 3D, don't be worried. This game is going to run phenomenally. And you get to enjoy some really good settings with this game as well. I'm pretty excited, so we'll see how things turn out when the game is fully released. Hope you guys enjoyed this performance overview. I know things right now have been pretty dead on the channel, but got a few things planned for the future. We got a follow-up video coming up explaining where things are at. Oh, did I get MVP for this match? Nice. Cool. Alright, that'll do it for this one, you guys. Take care, and we'll touch base in the next one.
If you guys found this video to be informative and entertaining, then leave a like. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. Be sure to check out the video description for cool links and ways to support the channel, such as using my Amazon affiliate link. And if you're interested in seeing more content like this, then consider subscribing. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.